Hey guys, Final Death Star here, and today we're talking A House Divided, which seems to be the current state of Lucasfilm. There was a YouTube video by Grace Randolph that came out. I'm sure you guys are probably aware of it. I think it went to number 3 in the UK's YouTube ranking list, so it really got out there, and it was really a good kind of breakdown of this apparent conversation that took place between Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, and a lot of the other heads of there was all the bigwigs, basically. One of the heads of Lucasfilm, one of the heads of Pixar, which is also owned by Disney. I don't believe Kathleen was in on this phone call from I think from what the report has said, but it was a lot of other top heads. And if this report is true, it really shows the sort of mindset right now of Disney's view of Lucasfilm. It seems that Bob Iger is kind of had enough of Kathleen Kennedy's, the way she's been running Lucasfilm. As you know, so have a lot of us. Maybe he's kind of seen the light. I did write him an email. I probably was never even read, but just voicing my opinion. It was a very professional email. I might do a video. Maybe I'll read it online or share it. But I did write him, and it was just kind of basically saying it was geared towards the report that came out by the one Lucasfilm employee who had written or who had tweeted that the fans of Star Wars, consumers, are not customers, and that just rubbed me the wrong way. So I did write him about that. I think that's incredibly insulting. I mean, I've been a fan of Star Wars since I was 4 years old. I saw Return of the Jedi when it was re-released in 1984. My dad took me to see it. I was a little kid. From then on, I was hooked. It was like my whole childhood was Star Wars, revolved around Star Wars. So to be told I wasn't a consumer, anyway. So it seems like Bob Iger's had enough of Kathleen Kennedy and the way she's been running Lucasfilm, the way she's allowed some of this toxic nature, to use one of their words, against them to flourish, where they attack the fans. I think he's finally had enough of it. So there was a call that I guess they talked. It seems, according to the reports, they talked about ousting or asking her to step down and having someone else step in. Apparently, no one has wanted to take this role on, if these reports are true, which is insane. Now they can't even give it away? It's crazy. I can't even believe that this is a thing, that they're asking for a replacement and no one wants to step up to the plate. I've never heard of anything like this in Hollywood before, in the history of Hollywood before. So it's really mind-boggling. I guess it's such a... so the story is that it's a house divided, literally. That Lucasfilm has been divided into the fans of Kathleen Kennedy and the people she brought in, and then the people who have been there before, who are under George Lucas's reign, who kind of have more of, I'd say, I don't know, I guess the fandom, the anti-Disney Star Wars fandom kind of needs a term for itself. The OG fans, for lack of a better term. But she has created this house divided where no one wants to step in because of the conflict within Lucasfilm itself. There needs to be someone who's got a good vision of this. I mean, I know there's someone. Dave Filoni. Come on, this is like the perfect moment for you to step to the plate. Come on, Dave, do it. Do it for us. Do it for yourself. Do it for Star Wars. Help us, Dave Filoni. You're our only hope. I don't know if he wants to take it on, though, just because I don't know if he has interest in it. I really hope he does. I would love to know what he's thinking, what's going through his head, because clearly he's aware of, all of the talk and the media, the YouTube videos that are calling for him to step up and take at least creative control of Lucasfilm. I think Grace Randolph made this. So many people have made this point that he hasn't had the experience running a studio. I've said this in other videos, and look, have him train with Kevin Feige for a few months. Have him work with someone else as the production head. What's also really interesting is if something like this were to happen in the next few months before episode 9, depending on who steps in, I don't know how that. I think it's too late for episode 9. I think it's all up to JJ to try to pull some rabbits out of hats on this one. I don't know what he's going to do. I've made a video on, some things that I think he could do to try to just bring back the fans. Other people have made videos on, their ideas for episode 9. Some of them are really good. I've seen everything from bringing Thrawn into it, which is something I've talked about, and possibly Ahsoka, because there's the possibility to do that, to everything from that to the world between worlds that Dave Filoni introduced into the Rebels, where it's kind of like an ether realm, and you can technically sort of change it. It's kind of like time travel in Star Wars, where you could change things of the past. There's been some good videos on that. I mean, there's so many possibilities. I think it's probably too late, even if someone else comes in to take hold. I don't know if Dave Filoni came in to take hold of Lucasfilm before episode 9. There's still enough time. I mean, they haven't started filming yet, and we all know what they did with Solo. I mean, they reshot 80% of the movie. So you know what? I take that back. There's plenty of time to still save this franchise if they've got the right person in charge. If there are no major moves by then, it'll all rely on JJ's shoulders to see what he can do, if he can try to kind of tie things together, and then they would go on from there. Depending on how episode 9 does, they might stay with Kathleen, or they might ask her to step down or force her to step down at that point if episode 9 doesn't do well. But that's all up in the air. It's still in the future. We're a few months out from episode 9's filming to begin. I think it's supposed to begin in end of July. So that's it. That's the craziness that's going on right now. It's amazing how many major news outlets have been covering this story. I mean, there's been stories on Forbes magazine. Some of them I've covered. Esquire. It's just some major publications have been covering this story of a divided fan base, which I guess extends onto this divided Lucasfilm, the House of Lucasfilm. It's just crazy. I've never seen anything like this in Hollywood before, to this extent, where it's gotten this kind of mass media attention. So what do you guys think of this whole house divided thing, and no one wanting to step into the CEO shoes over there at Lucasfilm, if these reports are true? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, give it the old thumbs up and share, and subscribe if you guys want to see more content. It's coming fast and furious these days. And until then, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.